Hi guys, today we're going to be doing a multi-palette bingo! Yay! I know, you guys have been asking for this for such a long time, so it's finally time and I'm so excited because I'm going to use all of my Odens palettes. I have 4 of the big ones here and I also have the 3 small ones. So I have every single palette in their range and I'm going to pick one shadow randomly from each palette that I'm going to jam on my eyes somehow. So we're going to just see how that goes, but this video is also sponsored by Odens. Odens is having a huge Black Friday sale from the 27th until the 29th. Where every single product on their site is 40% off. Not only that, but if you use my code Annette, you will get an additional 10% off on their site, which means that all of their site is half off. Like, that is insane. That's got to be the best Black Friday sale that I think I have seen from anybody so far. So that is fantastic. If you have been looking to pick up anything from Odens, now is the time, and I will talk to you a little bit while I'm doing my makeup about my favorites and stuff like that, because I mean, I honestly love everything that I have from Odens, so it's very tough to pick favorites, but I definitely have like shade favorites and stuff like that. I will show you the highlighters, the blushes, and obviously the palettes that we're going to be used to create a look with today. I will also link all of the other videos that I have made with Odens up in the card, so you can go check those out. I think I have 5 total. If not, I will just link my Odens playlist because I do know I have one. If you want to see like real in-depth swatches of all of the things, like I've basically reviewed everything in their collection. So if there is anything that you're wondering about, I definitely have videos on them. So just go check those out. But I'm going to, I guess, start by drawing. I feel like this intro went very quickly, but I'm going to pull up my random.org here and then we can just get started. I feel like there's a very good chance that I'm going to get a quite neutral look today because at least like half of each of these palettes are quite neutral except for the newest one that they came out with. So we'll see what happens. So let's go ahead and draw from these small palettes. First, I'm going to start with the Mini Forest palette. All of these have 6 shades in them, so I'm going to generate a number. So in this one, we have shade number 1. This is so exciting already because we have a blue matte. Yay! It's not going to be a neutral crease. I'm so happy. I'm such a happy camper right now. So this is going to be our first shade. I'm going to draw another one, which is going to be from the Mini Ocean palette. So let's see what we get in this one. Shade number 6. Shade number 6 is a bronze shimmer. This is going to be interesting. I feel like this color story is going to end up being a little bit all over the place. But that's why these are so much fun to do. I love doing these kind of palette bingos. Let's move into the Mini Sky palette. Gonna draw another number. Gonna be shade number 5 in this one, and shade number, oh shit. Shade number 5 is another kind of bronzy shade. It might end up being a very blue and bronzy look today. I do hope that we get at least one more matte. That would be really nice. At least these two are like different enough that I can layer them next to each other. I'm still not mad at this. I really wish that we could get like a dark blue matte. Do they even have a dark blue matte in any of the palettes? They might not. Let's go into the little bit bigger palettes here. So we have 2 palettes that have 12 shades in them. So I'm going to change that from 1 to 6 to 1 through 12. And we're first going to draw from the Solmåne palette and we're going to get shade number 10. Let's see what shade number 10 is. So we have 4, 8, 9, 10. This is a beautiful shimmer and this is going to make for the most beautiful inner corner highlight. So I am not mad at this at all. I could also probably layer that over some of these others. Interesting. Let's move to the Freya palette, which also have 12 shades in it. And for that one, we're gonna also use shade number 10. That's random. So shade number 10, this one is another shimmer. Oh god, this is gonna be a very interesting look. I might just have to end up doing a very big wing and use the blue in my crease. I don't even know. I mean, this is gonna be rough, and I need to take my watch off because I don't have room for more swatches. Okay, so the next 2 palettes have 16 shades in them. I'm going to change it to 16. And first we're gonna draw from the Elva palette and we're gonna get shade number 15. Shade number 15 is a matte, yay! And it actually blends nicely into that blue as well. So we have the shade here called Peony. Oh, I'm so glad we have another matte. Am I gonna remember all of these shades and which palettes they're from? Now that is the problem. But these 2 are going to make for quite a nice crease, and I think that since basically every shimmer is quite neutral, at least it's somewhat cohesive. So let's move into the last palette. This one does have a couple of glitters, so if I do draw a glitter, I'm just going to draw again because you guys know I don't really like glitters. So in this palette, we're going to be using shade number 13. What is shade number 13? So we have 4, 8, 12, 13. We have another dark matte, which I'm not really mad at that. I do feel like it might be a little similar to the one that I just drew though, which was this one. I'm just gonna kind of do that right underneath. Okay, so those are basically the same color. Not quite. This one is a little bit more like red leaning and this is more of a true brown. So I guess this is what we have to work with. I don't even know what to say. I'm gonna start by priming my eyes. So this is what we have to work with, and I think that my plan is going to be to use the blue and this shade right here in my crease, and then probably use this one underneath my eye just so we can kind of see if I can get them to look a little bit different. And then from there I will decide if I want to do a big wing or not. I could also do the blue in my inner corner and layer this one over it, and then do these two in my crease. Maybe that is what I want to do. Maybe that could be kind of fun and different. And then I will do a big wing because I need a lot of room to have 4 shimmers on my lid, so maybe that is where I'm gonna go with this. I feel like those are pretty good plans, both of them, but I haven't quite decided what it is that I want to do. I think I'm just gonna go with that because I do love me my big wings. So I'm gonna start by taking the blue here, which was from the Mini Force palette, which looks like this if you haven't seen this already. And I'm gonna start placing that in the inner corner of my eye. If you're somehow new to Odens, I really love all of their products. You guys have seen me use them in a lot of my videos already. And all of their products are inspired by Norse mythology, which I think is so cool. And like, I kind of feel like I connect with the brand in a way too, because I am Norwegian and the brand is Swedish. So for me, it's like, I don't know, it feels like a bit of a family brand. I don't know. I feel like anything that's from Scandinavia kind of feels closer to home than something that's from the States for me, just because that's where I grew up. So I think I'm just gonna leave this like it looks kind of crazy, I'm aware. Next up, I'm gonna take the shade. Did I want to use one underneath my eye? I'm gonna use this one in my crease, which was from the Elva palette, I'm pretty sure. So this is the Elva palette, and I'm going to use the shade here. No, this shade. The shade here called Peony. And I'm gonna start placing that in my crease here. Gonna keep the shape of this quite round. As you guys know, when I do my big wings, I do like to have a bit of a round shape, and this is a beautiful color. This actually would have looked so nice if I used the blue as a transition shade and then used this one to deepen it up with. I think those would have actually blended very nicely together. And don't worry, I know it's looking crazy right now, but I'm just gonna take my time with this and make sure it's nice and blended. Like, do you see just how pigmented the shadow is? I love Odens eye mattes and I love their shimmers so much. It's really hard for me to pick a favorite when it comes to their palettes because the formulas in all of their palettes are fantastic. It's really just for me a matter of color story, and like if I have to choose a color story that I like more, it's so hard. It's honestly probably their newest palette just because it is the most colorful one. This looks so nice. Oof, I love this. I feel like that looks really nice with my hair too. So now that I have the pigment down where I want it to be, I'm gonna take a clean brush and just really go over the edge here and try to get this as blended as I'm able to. For my lower lash line, I'm gonna grab the shade here called Coffee, which was this one. This is from their newest palette. This is the Elva 2 palette. This color story is so beautiful. Oh, I just love it so much. So I'm gonna grab this one and I'm just going to smoke that out underneath my eye. I'm curious to see if there's going to be a big difference between the two colors, and there's definitely a difference. I forgot like just how pigmented this color is because it is very pigmented. I'm just going to really smudge this underneath my eye here. And I think it is time for my wings, so I will leave my tutorial on how to do this up in the corner if you want to go check out a more in-depth tutorial, but I'm just going to fast forward through me doing this, and then we can go on and put on some shimmers, which I'm so excited about because these shimmers are so beautiful. Before I go in with these shimmers, I'm just going to take some black eyeshadow and just kind of go over the edge here so that I can get a little bit of a blend onto my eyelid so there's not like very sharp edges. And I was looking for a black in one of the Odens palettes, and I realized that Odens doesn't have a black, so get on that, Odens. We need a black in one of your palettes because I love black eyeshadow, and I know if there's a brand that's gonna make a good eyeshadow, a good black eyeshadow, it's you guys. So I'd love to see that in your next palette, just saying. I'm taking a little bit more of that matte that I used in my crease as well, and just making sure that I have a nice deep crease here before I go in with the shimmers. And this will also just kind of help the blend all the way in the outer corner here where the wing kind of meets. So I guess I'm just gonna go dark to light here. So I'm gonna start with this shade and then move into that one and then probably do this in the inner corner and maybe that one on my lower lash line a little bit. So let's kind of have that as a plan. I'm going to put on some of my NYX glitter primer just all over my lid where I want my shimmers to go. And I'm just gonna do one eye at a time today because I have a lot that I need to put on my lids and I don't want my glitter primer to dry. So I'm first gonna go into the Mini Ocean palette and I'm going to grab this shade, which was the darkest shimmer that we drew. And I'm gonna start in the middle of my lid and just kind of blend this out into that wing. Gently just tapping it into my crease as I go as well because I do want this to be kind of a blended look here. I've just been really liking that lately. The next shade I'm gonna go into is this one from the Mini Sky palette, which is a beautiful, it's not really a bronze, it's almost like a goldy bronze. And I'm gonna put that in the front portion of my lid here. Am I just gonna put this on the rest of my lid? Maybe I will. I'm just gonna leave a little bit of room right in my inner corner for that other shade, but otherwise I think I want this to go all over my lid. This is such a beautiful sparkly shade. I really love that Odens shimmers are all just so different. Like there's so many different kind of formulas and it just makes it really exciting to work with because you don't really know what you're gonna get until you put them on the eyes. And sometimes they really surprise me with just how beautiful they are because this looks so good. Like I love that. I'm gonna take a little bit more of my glitter primer here and just gently tap that in my inner corner because I do want to have a little bit of a base since I am layering it over that yellow. And I'm gonna grab the shade from the Solmåne palette, which is sort of a topper shade. This is a, how would I explain this? Is it a yellow to green shift kind of with more of a, not transparent base, but it's definitely more of a topper and like a glittery shade. So I'm gonna, oh, that looks so good. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. This was such a good idea. Oh, just gonna put that in my inner corner here. Oh man, look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. Yep, that is just what I wanted. So to finish off with the last shimmer that I have left, which I think was this one, I could be wrong. This is the Freya palette. I'm gonna take a little bit of this and just kind of pop it on the front portion of my lower lash line. I don't know if that is cheating, but I don't want a lot of this because I felt like it didn't really go that well with like the rest of the tones that I have going on. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of that like right here. It's just going to add some sparkles because this is the same formula as the one that I used in my inner corner, but a little bit darker and obviously a different color. So you're not gonna see it that well because I'm not using a glitter primer with this. I'm just putting a little bit of this on just so I can say that I've used it basically. But it is a really beautiful shade if you use this all over your lid. I think I did that in my 3-look video where I used all of the large palettes that I had at the time, and I think I used this all over my lid and it was really pretty. So I think this is going to be it. I'm not mad at this. I'm gonna finish off this eye and then I'll come back and we can do the rest of the face together. So the eyes are all done and I love how this turned out. I just love the inner corner so much. I can't stop staring at it. It's so nice and glittery and sparkly. Oh, and I just love it. So let's go ahead and move on to the face. So I'm going to use one of the blushes here. This is the Fruit blush in the shade Apricot Girl. This is just the one that I wanted to use today. And honestly, I love every single blush that I have from Odens. So if I were to like tell you which one to get or which one is my favorite, like I honestly couldn't tell you because I love them all so much. So it would really just depend on what kind of colors that you like to wear, because they have a lot of colors in their range and they really just have something for everybody, and I love that. And they also have 2 different formulas. They have this one, which is the Fruit range, which is a matte blush, which is the one that I'm using right now. As you can see, very matte finish. They also have the Flower blushes, which are a little bit more on the luminous side, but they're still not like shiny at all. So if you don't like a glowy blush, they would probably be really nice for you still, because I'm not usually a fan of like glowy blushes, but I do like that they're not like completely matte. Like they're the perfect kind of luminous blush for someone who doesn't like dewy, if that makes sense. I love both of their formulas, and I just think that the colors that they have in their range are just beautiful. which is why you see me use them all the time, because I just love them. And I also just love the packaging. I love how sleek they are. I love how small they are. Like, they're just a perfect size for a blush. Like, you don't need a blush to be something extravagant and like bulky packaging, and like, this is perfect. I love this. So let's go ahead and do some highlight. I'm going to use the Solmåne palette. This is my personal favorite. I do like the other palette that they have as well, but I think this one is my favorite just because I love this yellow so much. This is the shade Måne, which you can barely even see because I've actually made a dent in this. So I'm going to use that as my highlighter today, and that's basically going to be the face all done. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put on a lip product after, and I think I want to use one of the cream stains that they have, because that is honestly one of my favorite lip formulas that I've tried this whole year, and is going to end up in my yearly favorites for sure, because I just cannot get enough of that formula. And this highlighter is just so beautiful as well. I mean, there's very few things that I like more than a yellow highlighter, especially if it's a little bit on the glittery side as well. I just think it's so beautiful. Oh, I love it. I am going to line my lips a little bit before I go in with the lip product, because I just like to overline, and even though I can overline with these because they are a very opaque gloss, I just find that they stay put a little bit better if I do have a lip line underneath. Man, that lip liner I used was not very good, very scratchy. I'm going to use this one. This is the shade Lady Camellias, or Camellias. I think it's some kind of a flower. I could be completely off, but this is the one that I'm going to use. I don't even know how to explain this. It's almost like a dark mauve in a way. I don't know. Let me put it on and you can see the color a little bit better. So I just absolutely love these. I just love how they feel on the lips. I love how opaque they are. I love how thin they are, even though they are an opaque gloss, but they're still very, very comfortable. Their matte liquid lipsticks are nice too, but I just haven't really been on a matte liquid lipstick train. But if you are, I would still highly recommend them because they are really, really nice. So that's gonna be the look all done. Honestly, I really like how this turned out, despite the color story being a little bit weird in the beginning, but I think it came together, and I think that having a fun inner corner just saves any look, and I really like this. Like, I'm surprised at how much I like this. So thank you so much to Wooden Side for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to check out their sale. I will make sure to mention it on my Instagram as well when the sale is starting, so you can check it out if you want to. I will have a swipe up link for you. And don't forget to use my code if you do buy something, because it will give you an extra 10% off. It is an affiliate code, but it will also help you save some money. So that's gonna be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see some other multi-palette bingos that I have on my channel, here's my palette bingo playlist. And if you're new, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.